name is Rich Madalino. I have the honor to be the Chief Administrative Officer of the county government. Thank you all so very much for being here to celebrate with us the beginning of our 250th celebratory activities and the unveiling of our special 250th anniversary bus. So I want to thank the whole team from Ride On and MCDOT who made this happen. This is such a wonderful activity that we do every year in celebrating so many different community activities with our Ride On buses. So thank you for being so creative, and thank you for keeping the buses running every day. It's fitting that we are here today on this spot to announce these activities for our 250th anniversary because we are a block away from where it all started. The Hungerford Tavern, which was located right by the corner of Jefferson, what is now Jefferson and Washington. I'm sure in 1775, it was not Jefferson and Washington, but that's where the first group of activists, patriots, agitators, whatever you wanted to call them, came together to start talking about the need to protest the British efforts to tax the colonists. And that effort led to the General Assembly designating, once the revolution broke out, an area of Prince George's and Frederick counties as Montgomery County. On September 6, 1776, the General Assembly passed the law that created Montgomery County. Named for Richard Montgomery, of course, a Revolutionary War hero, martyr who had died several months earlier in an attempt, our nation's first attempt to liberate Canada. At the gates of Quebec City. So we are the very first Montgomery County in the country. There are 17 different Montgomery counties, but we're the first. And so we are proudly celebrating not only our nation's 250th anniversary on July 4th, but our county's 250th anniversary on September 6th. So thanks to so many amazing county employees, and we're going to hear from our rec department director, Gabe Albornoz, who's going to talk about the amazing activities we have planned for this summer of celebrations. First, we're going to hear from our county executive, Mark Eldridge. We're going to hear from our council president, Natalie Fanny Gonzalez, not only Director Albornoz, but we're also going to hear from Matt Logan, who is the director of History Montgomery History, who has an amazing and exciting opportunity that's occurring in partnership with the county just down the street, even closer to Hungerford Tavern. So with that, it's my honor to bring up our county executive, Mark Eldridge, who got a haircut just for the event. So go.
I got a haircut because I was badgered into submission in general. All right, as you can see on this theme ride-on bus, the county celebrating its 250th anniversary. As Rich said, it's on the heels of the country's 250th July 4th celebration and the celebration for our county's 250 years. We have a special website that has a historic timeline, a calendar of featured events, and information on other 250th happenings in the county. It's on montgomerycounty.gov/Montgomery-250. As Rich said, there are 18 counties in this country that are named for Montgomery, and we are the oldest one, though. And it's named after General Richard Montgomery, who, as Rich said, lost his life trying to take Canada. Let that be a lesson. And hopefully we don't have to revisit that thing again. And while we have a lot to celebrate in the county's history, you also have to recognize that our past is not perfect. It is complicated. Up until and through the 1950s, many property deeds contained racial restrictive covenants that said people couldn't sell to anyone who was Black, Jewish, or Asian, or otherwise wasn't considered white. We also couldn't rent in Montgomery County. The process of redlining on mortgage discrimination was prevalent beyond the end of discrimination. The covenants were outlawed in 1967. Actual discrimination by banks went on and on and on. We saw segregation at Glen Echo Amusement Park. And in 1936, the African-American teacher William Gibbs filed suits against the Board of Education superintendent Edwin Broom for equal pay, as Black teachers were paid half of what white teachers made. The case was settled out of court, so it didn't set a legal precedent, but Gibbs versus Broom had far-reaching impact. It was the first victory in equal pay legislation or arbitration. It served as a model for a subsequent court action that eventually led to the 1954 Supreme Court decision of Brown versus the Board of Education, probably one of the most famous Supreme Court decisions ever. Just a few blocks from here, you can see that Gibbs Street in Rockville Town Squares is named after in Mr. Gibbs' honor. And there are a few other injustices we've come to term with over these years. Our core values are centered around social justice and equity and compassion for everyone. This is especially important now during this time of tremendous change initiated by the federal government. We want everyone to have a seat at the table. We should celebrate that what has helped us become the nation that we are, but you have to understand the complexity of the diverse nature of our community and how we came to be. This county is now 16% Asian, 21% Black, 22% Hispanic. We were 95% white and 4.5% Black if you go back 50 years. So it's a remarkable change here. We're not just racially diverse, but we're religiously diverse. We have a high concentration of religious groups like Orthodox Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, and the Public Religion Research Institute sees us as the most diverse of the counties. Resolving our history is going to be an ongoing project. It's not something you do with an event here and there. That's why, during the time of celebration, we're going to be sure we're willing to talk about what happened that we don't celebrate, but that we recognize as part of our reality. I think what's worth celebrating is we're not where we were before. This is not the county of 50 years ago. And in many ways, it's good we're not the county of 50 years ago. We're investing in our community groups. We help protect those who may be under fire for religious or their sexual orientation, and we keep an eye for everyone, especially the most vulnerable. That's what Montgomery County is about, and why what's happening in Washington is about what our country is about. We want to acknowledge both the good and bad, and that's just the reality of the work we have to do. And anytime if you ever talk to young people, you realize how little they know, and how little you know affects you as you get older, because if you don't learn it, you never really know it. And if you don't really know it, then you don't understand the circumstances in which you're living and growing in. So knowledge is important. I will now turn this over to the council president.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Natalie Fanny Gonzalez. I'm the president of the Montgomery County Council, and I also have the great pleasure of being here with one of my colleagues, Councilmember Shebra Evans. So thank you for joining us today. Look, we celebrate 250 years in the county. I think what's in my mind is to see the evolution that we have had as a county. Among all the issues that the county executive expressed, I think one of the highlights that I can say within the past couple of years is the fact that when we say that Montgomery County wants to move people around and give people that right to do it, and doing it with money, in the sense of now ride-on is free, and the fact that we have a beautiful bus celebrating 250 years that is free for people to ride. I think that talks about our values and how we're evolving as a society of connecting people to places, to work, to playgrounds, and so forth. And I think it's just one example of the many things that we're doing as we evolve as a society. And I wanted to highlight because that particular effort, just because we do have a bus that looks beautiful and that you're gonna see around, and please take it for free, or it will be free anyway. So that's one thing. The second thing is that it's also a reminder that as we evolve, we also need to continue challenging ourselves as a society and to continue making sure that we will use our values on social justice, environmental justice, and so forth. So for the next 250 years, we can be even more proud of being in Montgomery County. With that, I thank everyone here for helping us celebrate, and I look forward to the other events coming up, especially the 4th of July celebration at Einstein High School, which I know the director of the rec department, Albornoz, is going to mention, but that one is is one that I always go, and I'm so proud that it's gonna continue happening. So thank you so much for being here, and let's continue making Montgomery County an amazing place to live.
Well, good morning, good people. It is wonderful to be with all of you today on this very special occasion as we announce a summer of very exciting activities to recognize both the county's 250-year celebration as well as our country's 250-year celebration. So as Rich mentioned, as you probably picked up from his comments, he is our resident historian here in county government. Very proud of our history and very knowledgeable of it. And I bet if his family let him, he would wrap his home with that 250-year moniker as well. That's right. That's right. But the county executive and our council president said so well why it's important for us to uplift and recognize both the history of Montgomery County, but also its future. And with that in mind, we are thrilled to announce that beginning on July 3rd, which is Friday, July 3rd, we will have our kickoff event, which is called Montgomery County 250 Shine Together. It will take place on Friday, July 3rd at Albert Einstein High School. Former Washington Post columnist Bob Levy will serve as the MC. The event will help kick off Montgomery County's 250-year Summer of Memories and Celebration. The celebration will begin at 7 p.m. with live music from the Nighthawks. We're especially excited to partner with Montgomery History to bring new and engaging experiences at that event and over the course of the summer that celebrate our community's rich heritage. And if you go to Montgomery250.com, as you see here on the side of the bus, you'll see a listing of all of the events this summer that are celebrating Montgomery County's 250-year celebration. As far as event logistics for the event on the 3rd, parking will be available on site for individuals with disabilities, but we will be offering free shuttle bus service for all attendees at Westfield Wheaton. And then we will also be having an event on Saturday, July 4th at South Germantown Recreational Park to celebrate the country's 250-year celebration. Parking will be available on site for that event. Both events are free to the public, offering an affordable way for families to celebrate together. And I'll say this as well. I'm sure you all have been following the celebrations planned on the National Mall and in downtown DC. And for those families that would prefer to stay away from all the stuff, you're more than welcome. And we encourage you to stay closer to home this year. We're going to have fabulous events with great music, great entertainment. There will be food trucks available. There will be giveaways available. And this is a very family-friendly activity. Alcohol will not be permitted. Neither will pets, because the fireworks displays, which are enhanced this year, really tend to set off pets. And so pets are going to be encouraged to stay home, including my own Coco, which you'll be sad about. This will be a fantastic summer of activities here in Montgomery County. I'd be remiss not to thank all of the partners that make these activities possible. And I want to start with Montgomery History. And as you'll hear soon from Matt Logan, we are so fortunate to have such an important and incredible organization recognizing and uplifting our past here in Montgomery County, and again, preparing us for our future. They have been wonderful partners in ensuring that the events on July 3rd at Einstein really recognize and celebrate and acknowledge the county's history. We also want to extend our thanks to the Montgomery County Soccerplex, Montgomery County Parks, as well as the Department of Transportation, Montgomery County Police, and our friends in Fire and Rescue, who will all be on site ensuring the safety and security of everybody that attends. And most importantly, I want to thank the incredible staff of the Montgomery County Recreation Department. It takes a lot to put on an event, let alone two back-to-back. And we expect tens of thousands of people to attend both events over both days. But we can assure you the events are going to be extremely well organized and a lot of fun. The only thing we can't control is the weather. And these events are rain or shine, but obviously, if there is inclement weather, there may have to be adjustments that made, but let's keep our finger crossed that it'll be beautiful days both days. Again, visit Montgomery 250 to get more information about both of these events. And please always visit mocorec.com to find out about other fantastic programs and services offered by the Department of Recreation. I'll just say quickly in Spanish, vamos a celebrar un evento bien importante este verano, el aniversario del 250 años del Condado de Montgomery. Vamos a tener una celebración en Einstein High School el 3 de julio. El evento va a empezar a las 7 de la noche, va a haber fuegos artificiales. Este evento es gratis y va a haber autobuses de Westfield Mall que te pueden traer al evento. Y también vamos a tener un evento el 4 de julio para celebrar el aniversario del país en Germantown Recreational Park. Ese evento también va a empezar a las 7 de la noche. Ese evento también es gratis y estacionamiento está disponible dentro del Soccerplex. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much. And now I introduce Matt Logan, our Director of Montgomery History.
Good morning. As we've already learned, Montgomery County was founded in 1776, the same year as the nation, and now 250 years later, Montgomery history, the county's historical society believes the best way to honor the past isn't only to look back, it's to recognize that this county's story is still being written every day by the people who live here. For over 80 years, Montgomery history has collected, cared for, and shared the county's stories. We are now in the process of creating a new history center that will open this fall in the historic Farmers Bank and Trust building about a block from here, very close to where the Hungerford Resolves were drafted and adopted. It will provide a space for exhibits, school programs, lectures, the county's historical library, and notably an oral history recording studio. A building that once protected the community's savings will now protect something equally valuable, its stories. The Montgomery History Center will be a home for all of us, a welcoming space where everyone in Montgomery County can feel accepted, connected, and respected. Importantly, the History Center will be more than a place to learn about the past. It will be a place to see yourself reflected, to build bonds with our neighbors, to celebrate what makes our communities unique, and to discover the stories that bring us together. On July 3rd, Montgomery History is thrilled to join with Montgomery County, and especially the wonderful Parks Department, to celebrate the nation's and the county's 250th birthday with a night of festivities at Einstein High School. That will be the first step in a season of events and commemorations that runs straight through to our grand opening this fall. So our message is simple. Whether your family has been here for generations or arrived more recently, the Montgomery History Center will be a place for all of us. Just remember, history isn't behind us. We are creating it together every day. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. I also want to recognize Kelly Groff, who's the president and CEO of Visit Montgomery. There are going to be tremendous events that happen all summer long, but there are lots of events that happen each and every day. Use the Visit MoCo app to find out what's happening, where you can enjoy, party, eat, play across Montgomery County each and every day. So with that, if there are there any questions? Great, then thank you so much for being here to celebrate the amazing original 250th anniversary of the nation's very first Montgomery County, Maryland. With that, are we going to take any pictures by the bus? We are. So thank you all very much.